And that is a superpower trait that I have, and I keep it to this day. When I meet somebody, I'm just like, yes. And you know the most fascinating thing? The most agreeable people I meet are the people who should be the least open. I'd say in the last 1 year, the most interesting people I've talked to are Mark Cuban, the billionaire, Elon Musk, the billionaire, Bill Clinton, the president. Rihanna was one of the most fascinating people. You know what? I'll tell you where I got mass respect for Rihanna. I'm talking to her and I'm like, Rihanna, what's your favorite book? And she starts answering and going, da da da, and like she said, I forget what it was. It was like a fiction book. She goes, this is a fiction book and I really like it. And then she goes, wait a second, you're the expert on books. Why don't you tell me what to read? Because she knew that I have the biggest book club in the world. And I was thinking, see, this is a humble person. She's Rihanna. She could just be like, I know everything. But she realized that she could learn something new and walk away from that room smarter than she was. And most people don't want to do that. They want to enter the room, take the little knowledge they have, showcase it, and walk out of the room with the same amount of knowledge. Why? Shit. Why would you want that? It's like the girl in the car. Now she knows what a Spanish accent sounds like. And I can tell you, little things like that make big differences in life. When I'm at a party and someone comes up and talks to me and I hear that accent, I go, oh, are you from Spain? People notice, like, oh, that's a smart guy. And so she learned a new thing. She thought Mexicans and Spanish people sound the same. If you ever say that to a Spanish or a Mexican person, and you're like in a business deal, they're gonna be very offended. But she kept fighting with me. I'm like, are you fucking stupid? That's all I can think, and I don't care anymore. I've learned, my mentor told me, Ty, don't try to teach a pig to fly. Can't do it, and it bothers the motherfucking pig. Like people get, when I'm like, hey, you know what I spent 10 years and $10 million trying to figure out? I can tell you in 5 minutes, you wanna know? Or do you wanna spend 10 years and $5 million? Cause I'm fucking smart. If it cost me $5 million in 10 years, it might take you 20. I'm not a slow fucking person. I've been a high IQ person, but people are just, it's a combination of ego, stubbornness, sensitivity, all these things that make people broke, poor, unhappy. Everything you want comes from learning shit. The only thing that separates humans from every other animal species is we can actually think through things at a deeper level. And we can go further, and we can understand our own animal instincts. No other animal can do that. We can go, oh, my primal instinct is to be stubborn because 100,000 years ago, in a primitive society, stubbornness worked because there was no variables. There was no economics, there was no jobs, there wasn't even language. So being stubborn was great if you were born in the Pleistocene era or shit like that as a different species. It's not valuable in the modern world. So only people, and that's why I said it's so fascinating, because you would think the most cocky people, you would think the people who would listen the least would be the people who've done the most. I mean, I'm serious. Last time I talked to Elon Musk, we were at the Game of Thrones premiere, and we've talked at different things. We're not close friends, but he knows who I am or recognizes me. And I was just talking to him, and he was like, I got a question for you. What do you think we should do for Tesla? Do you think we should use Snapchat? And my first thought is, this dude's smart, and he's asking me. And at the end of this talk, I was like, this dude tricked me. And I rarely get tricked by people. And I was like, you know why? He got me talking the whole time. Which means he was gathering data and giving no data, and then he walked away smarter. There you go. That's the formula. And I see this so much because I reach 100 million people. I see that out of 100 million people a year, I reach 99.999 million. Their mindset in the current state is the mindset of somebody who's gonna lose at whatever they try. So I don't care how fucking smart you think you are, shit like that. If you're not excited to be around somebody smarter than you, and if you can't recognize and differentiate in the room, like when I'm with Elon Musk, I'm like, this isn't a normal guy. So I'm not gonna treat him, you can respect everybody. He's not a more valuable person, but he knows a hell of a lot more. So much more. God, he's so smart. It's amazing. The smartest person that's been in this house this year, is also, in the last year, is also the richest guy. Mark Cuban got $3 billion. He's so fucking smart. And it's not even smart like you would think. Most observant person. Ask me the most questions. Why would he ask me? He asked me more questions than you have ever asked me. But he already has $3 billion and you don't. So sometimes I try to make sense of it. I'm like, how does that make sense? Every broke person who comes in here, they say, Ty, I want you to show me tricks in business. And they ask like 1.5 questions. They're half-hearted ones. They're like cocky, arrogant, prove me like, well, Ty, you said this, but I think this. It's just, it's called a dilettante is the technical word. Someone who knows this much, just enough to think they're smart. They never accomplish anything, but they're already cocky about it. They can't play basketball, but they think they're the baddest guy on the court. And then you get somebody in who comes in, it's like Michael Jordan of business. And they said, I read an interesting book. My friend wrote a book, the #1 book on Michael Jordan. He's known Michael Jordan since he was in high school. And he said, you know what, Michael Jordan, that secret of Michael Jordan? The most coachable basketball player in history. The most open-minded basketball player. Even though he was Michael Jordan, the greatest, maybe the greatest athlete of all time, no other player asked more questions. So my simple answer to you is, what I was telling you, that stubbornness shit, you can do whatever you want. And I told you, I'm at the point where I remember what Allen Nation told me. Ty, don't try to teach a pig to not be stubborn. You can't do it, and when you do it, the pig gets mad at you. He was a farmer. So I'm not calling humans pigs. That's just what he told me as a farmer. If a pig doesn't want to learn, just leave them alone. They're gonna squeal, and they turn around and bite your ass. It's funny, different, Jesus Christ, if you're Christian, said, do not throw your pearls to swine, because they will eat the pearls, and then they'll turn and bite you. When I was a little kid, I heard that, and I was like, that makes no sense. Then I got older, and I was like, holy shit, you can literally give people the pearls. Like, you want to know how this works? Here you go. And they'll go, blump. And when you eat pearls, it means you don't value them. You don't realize that a pearl's worth pearls can be worth $1 million. If I handed you pearls, and you ate them, what would everybody think of you?
Retard.
Yeah, but imagine then after you ate them, you turn around and punch me in the face. That's why a lot of times people ask me, Ty, why is your Snapchat not all teaching people? Why is your Snapchat entertainment? Why is it playing basketball? Why is it I'm like, I don't want fucking to teach people that much. People ain't ready. They're not ready to learn. They gotta learn the hard motherfucking way. They gotta go through hell and back. And then at some point when it's too late, when they're 60 years old, I get a lot of 60-year-olds come to me and go, where was all this information when I was 18? I'm like, it's probably there, you were too fucking stubborn. And that's the punishment. You get to be 60 years old and wake up. And that's why the average American is 60 and has $60,000 saved up. That's it. And the Americans end up, and America's a country without much social net. You fuck up in life, ain't nobody gonna help you unless you have family. And people end up, it's a tragedy. You got millions of people poor and I see it all the time. I didn't grow up around money, but I have to think sometimes it's the penalty for having been fucking stubborn for 40 or 50 fucking years. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it's hard luck, but some of those cases. And so when I meet people that are 18 and stubborn, I'm like, 20 and stubborn, I'm like, come on, man. That's why my life now, show me the needle in the haystack. You give me a needle in the haystack, you give me kids out of the ghetto. Give me kids that dropped out of high school. I'll show them how to make a fucking $1 million. All these rich fucking kids go be doctors, make 150 motherfucking thousand. Hey, and I respect doctors and all that. World needs more doctors, but let me say, all that white privilege stuff, I can do the same thing with anybody who has a moderately normal IQ. If they're brain damaged or something, it'd be hard. If they're handicapped. But all I gotta do is teach them principles. The principles work. And I need people that are excited to learn. And it makes me fucking sick in the world that people, because I remember how hard it took me to learn this shit. And I'll tell you, if I go back in time and meet somebody who would share that shit, I'd be like, yo, can you tell me that shit? Because I had to read 5,000 or 10,000 books. And I know most people aren't gonna do that. So why wouldn't you want to learn from somebody? And it's crazy. And you hear all these stupid things in the world. Just go with your heart and you can figure it out on your own. Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? You'll never, how many heart surgeons figured it out by going with their heart? Oh, you know, I just fucking, somebody was having a heart attack and I just went up to him and I was like, I just feel like the way to fix this is like, I'm gonna make an incision here, I'm gonna go in there. No, fuck that. You train to be good. You train. Nobody, you think that's how we make airplanes, 747s? Somebody just was like, woke up and like, I think I know how to piece together this car. This airplane, I can make an airplane. We don't even need 2 wings. I feel like we just put 1 wing on the top and then, no, fuck that. The world's precision. There's rules that you follow and the plane flies. There's rules that you follow and shit works out in your life. And you break the rules, ain't nobody coming to save you. But the good news is, if you follow the rules, you can be black. You can be born, I was born a single mom in fucking Long Beach. You can be born anywhere in the world. And you know the coolest thing in my life right now, bigger picture, is that I get so many 14-year-olds. Like this 14-year-old DM'd me on Instagram about 3 months ago. And he was like, Ty, I follow all your stuff. I made an app. It's like number 55 in the app store. And I was like, cool. And I was like, he's like, yeah, my mom's a single mom. I live in like the ghetto of Atlanta or something. I'm not sure, but not that nice of a part. Single mom, no dad. And I said, how much money are you making? He said, $200 a day. I was like, that's pretty good, man. $6,000 a month at 14 while you're still in high school. And he was like, I follow your stuff. And I said, you know, he was asking me business tips. I said, well, one thing I learned from my mentors, if you want to grow your business, experiment a lot. So about 2 weeks later, he texted me and said, Ty, I've been experimenting with stuff. I changed my app from a free app to a paid app. I said, oh, how's that going? He said, oh, I'm making about $30,000 a day net right now. This makes me laugh at all the fucking people. You know who said this too? Jesus Christ, out of the mouth of babes. Because little kids listen, and I get fucking 50-year-olds that never made 30 grand in a month arguing with me. I'm like, fuck you. Give me the 14-year-old to teach. I don't even have to meet them. They follow my shit on YouTube, and that happens every day. I just had a kid Snapchat me the other day. He made $700,000 flipping real estate. There's this kid, Jalen White. He's making $70,000 a month on flipping real estate. He's 19. That's the guy we met. Remember we met at VidCon? Yeah. He's getting ready to write his real estate book. $70,000 a month. You know who listens to the words I say? People like that. So, shit, I don't care if people listen to me. You won't fucking be stubborn? Go ahead. There's a big world of stubborn people. I like the cool people. People always ask me, do you like your life? Like, do you like having money? I'm like, only for one reason. Well, 2. Freedom. I don't have to have somebody that is an asshole tell me what to do. And second, I get to hang out with cool people. And cool people are all the same. It's amazing. They're all fucking... Rihanna's one of the coolest people I've met. So dynamic, charismatic, had everything going. I can see why she's one of the most popular people in the world. Maybe the most famous person in the world. And so, I tell you, life's like choose your own damn adventure in the modern world. Can't blame anything. There's 14-year-olds making 30 grand. There's a dude last year who started a company, and in 1 year he sold it for $3 billion. It took him 11 months to become a billionaire. 11 fucking months. Shit, and people are still not getting it. I'm like, God, if I could be 18 over again now, you couldn't do that even 5 years ago. 10 years ago, you couldn't do it. In the past, very few people could get rich. Kind of could get it, but now it's like complete disruption. Kevin Systrom goes Santa Monica, starts a company, 2012 or 13, he sells it for $1 billion. The same year, Kodak, 100-year-old company, goes bankrupt. One kid with like 10 employees takes down the biggest company in almost the history of the United States. You should be excited, but if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, because you don't listen, and you don't know who's in the room, and you argue with people that are, you know what I've learned? If let's say Elon Musk, I'm with Elon Musk. And he's like, brings up a point, and he's like, yeah, because he brought up some points. It was interesting. He was like, well, I don't know if we need to use Snapchat. He had all kinds of different things. And he was telling me what he thinks the only thing Tesla has to do to grow. I won't divulge the stuff because I'll keep it confidential what he told me, but it was interesting that he thought of life like I think of life, like golden nuggets. Grab fucking golden nuggets from everywhere you go. And he wasn't stubborn, and he said a lot of things like this, like, why do you think that? See, if you could take one thing from this video, smart people say, that's not what I think, but what makes you say that? When I meet somebody like that, I faint, because I meet it once a year. Or when someone doesn't agree with you, and your first instinct is, wait a sec, that's not what I thought, but what makes you say that? Because you seem smart. That is, like the girl in the car when we're driving, where her gut instinct is that this actress in a movie we saw is Mexican, and I go, oh, she's Spanish. So she's driving in a car with a dude who doesn't see, do I come off as an idiot? Do I come off as somebody who doesn't know shit? I know a little bit about life. So her first reaction is just, no. Well, why would you do that? That's what I was saying with you about Hexaco. Your first reaction should be, when I say, I don't think you're high on agreeableness, you should be like, why do you think that? That's not what I thought. That's a smart person. And it's such a rare trait that literally I can go a year without finding it. Because that's what I was saying about Elon Musk. What Elon Musk said to me, as I was saying, well, I think Tesla should think about Snapchat and all that. And it turned out at the end, he shut me down. Like, he disagreed. But he let me talk for 10 minutes trying to figure out, and I know why. Because he was going, maybe this dude knows something I don't. Maybe this guy knows something I don't. It turned out maybe I did it. Turned out he was smarter than me. But he was interested. He was entertaining the thought. That's what I was trying to tell you. What started this whole video, Marty. I was saying, personality types is one of the things I fucking know. The odds of you meeting somebody who knows as much about personality types as me is infinitesimal. Because I've gotten trained by some of the smartest dudes. Every week, I talk to David Buss. When you say David Buss's name in psychology, it's like saying Albert Einstein's name in evolutionary psychology. He is the most respected guy his textbooks are what Ivy League schools use. So if I talk to him once a week, he's the one, his people are the ones who came up with Hexaco. Nobody knows about Hexaco. They talk about Big Five, they talk about Myers-Briggs. Hexaco was invented in the year 2000. It's a new science. It's cutting edge. It's like new brain surgery. So when I say to you about Hexaco, your first reaction was, I know about Hexaco. Well, no, you don't. You know about Hexaco because I had you take it last time. Sorry. But that doesn't mean you know about it because I just said take the test. And what I was trying to tell you about personality tests is really the only way that you know the best assessments of personality tests are a person who knows you, who's an expert. But you can take 1,000 online tests and go, oh, I know it. No, but people lie to themselves so they answer the questions incorrectly. That's why on the Hexaco they have two types of tests. One's called a self-assessment, and one's called an observer assessment. That means somebody who's not you goes, let me answer the questions for you. And I'm just saying, I'm not trying to call you, I'm just using an example because you are in, the good news is you don't have to feel like you did something wrong because this is how the whole world is. I'm just saying, try something different. Shit, that way doesn't work. Try that shit. Like I said, be like Rihanna. When you start talking about something and then you realize you're in a room with somebody who has the biggest book club in the world, ask them. That's what she did. My respect for Rihanna, I mean, I didn't know much about her until I got to talk to her, was like, it went from like not really knowing to like, yes, I've talked to, I get 10,000 snaps a day. I see what people ask me. I get 5 to 10,000 a day. I see what the world's asking. And it's never smart like that. It's rarely smart. Ask. Don't think you know shit. Here's how the only time you should be confident. This is what Pooh tells me, my basketball coach. He says, your competence is your confidence. And you know, it's interesting in the world now, people are very confident. In fact, this last generation, I think, is considered in the H, they have the most H because they grew up with their parents telling them like, you're special, you're all this shit. Well, there's some good to that, but there's also a lot of bullshit to that, because your confidence should come from your competence. So there's people out there who are like, look at my body, I'm so beautiful, and they're very out of shape and unhealthy. What you should do is you should be like, wow, I don't look like how I look in the mirror. And instead of deluding yourself, be like, let me go to a doctor or somebody who specializes in this and go, how much do I have to cut my weight to be healthy? Shit. Then when you're competent, meaning you're following the rules of the biology, then you become confident. Confidence should come after. Now you can believe in yourself before you've ever done anything. But do not be confident in your business skills if you've never launched a business. I don't care what anybody you think told you that. Bullshit. You can have hope. You can have faith. But faith should go like this. You should go, I want to quit my job. I'm going to quit my job. And I have faith that if I train and learn from smart mentors and read books and test things and go through trial and error, that one day I will know how to make a lot of money in the business. What you shouldn't do is what people, every day people just go, I know I was born to succeed. Oh my God, are you that narcissistic? Do you think that's how the world is? The gods are up there casting dice and like, this person's born to succeed. They did a fascinating study on this group called the termites. They were the most intelligent IQ kids, 5, 6, 7 years old. They tracked them for 20, 30 years. They were always told, you're so smart, you're in the gifted class. Not one fucking Nobel Prize winner came from them. They were average. And then the kids that weren't told they were so special, that's the group that had a huge, it's in the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And the termites is a very famous study. I think it was called the termite. But my point is, confidence comes from competence. Don't be confident that you know about personality types unless you're competent. And here's my rule. This is the best rule for anybody watching this. So don't be confident that you know that Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, which one of them should be president, unless you can do this one rule. This is my rule, and I got this kind of from Charlie Munger, the billionaire, and a little bit of compilation from my mentors. If you can stand in front of the smartest people for 20 minutes and talk on that subject at the Staples Center, which holds 18,000 people. So you think hypothetically, 18,000 of the smartest political people in the world would listen to you for 20 minutes, get on stage and go, let me make my case as to why Donald Trump should or shouldn't be president, or why her. And they all go, wow, that was really insightful talk. I've been working in Washington, D.C. for 20 years. I'm a lobbyist, I'm a professor, and you really made me think. Well, now you're competent. Until you can do that, be hungry to learn about it. So it's okay to vote. Go out and read books on both sides. If you want to know about if you want to know about business, and you want to be confident, before you're allowed to be cocky about your business, get up on stage in front of 18,000, or just you hypothetically, get in front of stage in your mind in front of 18,000 top business people. Will they be bored? Or will they go, wow, that was a mesmerizing talk, full of business thing, then you can be confident. If you can get up and play basketball in front of a stadium full of ex-professional basketballs, and they all go, this dude got game, now you can be confident. Until that point, you can be hopeful and you can have faith. And but you can't be like, I'm the shit. And I hate that trait. And that's what I was saying is also correlated with stubbornness. Stubborn people, in my experience, and like the Hexaco, low on agreeableness, they're related. The H, which is honesty, humility is correlated with Hexaco is honesty, humility, extroversion, conscientiousness, emotionality, extroversion, conscientiousness, and openness to experience, and agreeableness, and that's what the A stands for. And that A right there, it's related to the H. So people who are low H are oftentimes low A because they're low in honesty and humility, so they think they're better than they are, and so they become disagreeable people. And that's what I'm saying. Elon Musk, interesting. To listen to me, and he's obviously accomplished so much more than me in business, but to be willing to listen means he's high on honesty, and he's high on humility, which correlated to him being relatively high on agreeableness. So I was telling you that in the car, I was saying they're related, and stubbornness and agreeableness are very related. They are different words, it's semantics a little bit, but most stubborn people will be low in agreeableness. Not always, they're correlated, they have a correlation factor. But anyway, long talk in the middle of the night. You're a good sport. She's a good sport. Letting me use her stubbornness. Not really stubbornness, but
my low agreeableness.
I don't think you're super low on agreeableness. I just think I wouldn't say you're high on it.
Compared to my H, I
wouldn't bring that up. Don't bring that up, Honky. Don't bring that up. Because they're gonna start a whole nother. I gotta go to bed. That whole fucking when you get me talking about the H, we'll be here for 900 hours. So that's enough.